city, my city, my city. My city, my city, my city.
Hi everyone, and karibuni sana to yet another interesting segment called Take 5, where we take 5 minutes to address a question or a concern pertaining to the Christian faith, both for believers and unbelievers. I'm Pascal, and I'm joined here by a good friend, Pastor Richard Vundi.
Yes.
How are you? I see you're copying me today with the
No,
colors here.
you are copying me.
You are copying me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for trying really hard. I'm doing well. By the way, I'm doing well. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you
These
too.
different sets, I don't know where you find them, but yes.
Well, the Lord provides. The Lord has to provide it.
Yes, you lost a mathematical set in Rima. Here is a new set. Yes.
All right. So we want to take some time and just take 5, even as we address this question.
Okay.
So the past few weeks we've been looking at heaven, and the whole question of God comes into play whenever we consider subjects like these. So today's question, we are moving forward to look at, the worthiness of God in terms of our allegiance to Him, our service to Him, and our worship of Him. So we want to ask a question, probably it's 2-part. The first part of this question is, what truly is worship? What does it mean to worship? And then secondly, is our God worthy of worship?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, well-packed questions right there, Pascal. Aside the first one, what is worship? I know we have that misconstrued view that worship is slavery. Here we are, users or misusers or abusers. We are here at your mercy, and there is that sense that when God demands our worship, sini wanyonge, we have nothing to offer, we are useless, and use us as you deem fit, and at that point shy away from worshiping God. But true worship is this. Worship is given, has this root word of worship. It's giving your whole allegiance to someone or something that's worthy, that deserves it. For example, when I fuel at Shell petrol station, not yet market anyone, but if I fuel, let's take a second. If I fuel at Shell, and I take myself there each and every time, I have considered them worthy of my presence, my finances, my allegiance, in a sense, because over time I have trusted their product, and I give myself off, and I consider them worthy of my worship, in a sense. And so they have not coerced me, they have convinced me by the worthiness of their product and what they do, and I take myself there willingly. My allegiance is to them, my loyalty is to them, and we do that with almost anything and everything. And sadly, at times we do that to the wrong things. When we subscribe ourselves to sin, watching what we shouldn't watch, that's worship right there. When you view, pornography, it's because it's worthy of your body and your energies, and you take yourself there. And basically, that is what worship is: giving your whole self, your whole allegiance to something that's worthy in your own view, whether misconstrued or true.
Interesting thoughts right there. So what makes God this being that is worth that, worth allegiance to, worth following, worth obeying, worth listening to keenly every now and then, and doing what He wants?
Man, I wish we had take 1,000. That question right there needs more time than we have. But basically, what makes God worthy of my worship and my time and my everything is simply what I've stated early on. He's one who's proved true. In my lack of knowledge, my lack of faith, my lack of hope, my lack of anything really, He has proved to be faithful. I like that verse that keeps telling us that when we were faithless, God remains faithful because He cannot deny Himself. He's one who stuck true, the unchanging, the immutable. That's unchanging, the immutable God who remains true. And I think all our lives we are walking around looking for something, someone that will remain true and will not change faces with the times. And we are seeking an image of God in everything, and we simply can't find it. Only if we stop one day and find out that God has it all and he's not changing. He'll be as just as he was back then in the old covenant, in the new covenant. He'll be as faithful, he'll be as loving. He is Father, he is King, he is Lord, he is friend. He is everything we are seeking in a spouse, in a product, all combined. There's no one else, nothing else could satisfy. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. And I believe that is why God is worthy of my worship, my allegiance, and I take myself to him not as a slave. In fact, as we conclude, I think we might add something. In John 15, Aki, if I get it wrong, my media team will help me, where God says, I no longer call you slaves, now I call you friends, because to friends he has revealed his whole self to them. John 15. Now he no longer calls us slaves or servants, we are sons. He has shared everything as a father will to his children, and he dies for his friends, and he calls us into his fold. So that is why I believe God is worthy of worship.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that you mentioned that, because that very verse shows us a side of God that not so many things that demand our allegiance are to us. The things that require allegiance to us are not necessarily our friends. Like when you watch something that's not good, you know, it's affecting you in a very bad way. When you sin, or when you pledge your allegiance to something less than God, it's actually giving you a raw deal right there, right? Because it ain't God. I think the fact that God is all these good things to us, he is loving towards us, I think that's a big one. You mentioned unchangeableness, and I think part of what is unchangeable about God is the fact that he loves us, and the fact that even his service that he demands from us is actually for our own good. That's part of what it means when he says he loves us, and he does everything for our good, for we who love him. And therefore when he says, do this, serve me, obey me, it's because he knows that's the way for our good. And that, for me, as someone who is not only concerned about the goodness of God, but even my own joy, I say, yes, indeed, this is something that will give me joy to serve God, and God becomes my joy, a joy like no other, and therefore is truly worth worshipping.
A parable you'd want to go listen to, the prodigal son. You'll learn everything you need to know about worship right there. He goes to seek out worship everywhere else apart from where he's meant to find it. And then the other son who remains and doesn't realize how much he had in store by being in his father's house. Go check it out. Let me not take too much of your time, but yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Richard. Well, there you have it. That was take 5 for myself, Pascal
Bundi,
Pastor Richard Bundi. Till next time, see you guys.
My city, my city, my city. My city, my city.